Brad's just going to be in different locations.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the Marketing Roundtable, and we got some amazing guests with us. We have our reoccurring co-host with Mr. Nick Sakis, Mr. Gene Volpe. We have my brother, Mr. Brad McDaniel from Likley.ai. We're going to talk about some crazy batshit stuff today. We're going to be able to talk about how to use predictive analytics, how to use databases, how to do a lot of stuff. We don't know where the conversation is going to be going, but I first want to bring in, before we bring in Brad, we're going to bring in Mr. Nick Sakis. How are you, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still the ever-shrinking man. I kind of went off the rails a couple of days, but I'm back on track and kicking the sugar out of my system today.
Hey, you know what? Everybody deserves pizza, so that is okay. And you are the ever shrinking man. How much have you lost?
178.
Damn, another 8 pounds. That is amazing news. It's like losing my girlfriend 2 times over. It's incredible.
Yeah. Gene, your girlfriend. She'll be happy to know you just put her weight out there. Thank you.
Yeah, this is what's going to happen to me later in life. Oh, yeah? You talking shit about me? I'm be like, oh, shit, I got to go, honey. Bye.
Yeah, Velociraptor claw.
Dude, this thing's amazing. It can open a beer bottle. It can punch a window open. It can cut a seatbelt. And it can cut a motherfucker.
Yeah. Lamb. What?
I carry this thing because I live in San Francisco, and I got to be on point. But we got Mr. Gene Volpe, the evil bald ninja. How are you? You look extra bald, but I know you didn't shave. So how are you?
No, I didn't actually. That's true. I did get a new grooming kit, however. I'd like to tell you that.
For the up or the down?
A little bit of all of it. I will tell you that what Nick lost, I've found over the last couple of weeks. I'm plus 178 with all the beer drinking and fucking pizza eating. So I would also like to state that today it only took you 1 minute and 47 seconds to drop the F-bomb. So this is going to be a new game we play on the round table. How long does it take for Greg to go off the rails? And today was $1.49. So
love it.
So we're on a good track. Oh, guys, hey, I want you guys to meet my brother. You've met him before. His name is Brad McDaniel. He's the CEO of Likley.ai. He is an absolute genius along with his team. They are creating incredible products that are allowing you guys to analyze your database, figure out what you could potentially make out of it at a zero-cost basis, just by looking at the database. Now, they don't need your information, so they're not going to try to steal it because they already own all your information across the country 100% all the way. But the one thing is that I want him to come in, and Brad, I want you to talk about kind of some of the new stuff that you're doing, but first introduce yourself, tell people where they can get a hold of you, and kind of just a little bit about you and what your favorite color is.
All right. Favorite color is blue.
Nice.
Brad McDaniel. I run a small company called Likley.ai where we try to do interesting things that add value to residential agents and loan officers and real estate investors. What was the other question? What was the last part?
This is pretty much tell everybody kind of what you do and how you do it. Sure. And I mean, if you like long walks to convenience stores at night.
Yeah. I mean, kind of going back a long time, like, I don't want to pitch our stuff today. I'm happy to tell you about what we do and some interesting things. Excuse me. But like the one thing that I get asked a lot is, why do we do all of this stuff? And, the underlying reason is because, I spotted a trend in the market that I think is an existential threat to the real estate industry, where basically, if you look at agent productivity by transaction sides, Redfin's killing it. They're about 42 transactions per agent. And you compare that to, probably the next kind of guys like an EXP or a Compass, they're at 6 or 7 sides or transactions per agent in 2020. And I kind of started thinking, why is that? And what are some of the underlying things that could change if if someone else came along like a Redfin and was as productive as them? And so what stood out to me is that there's 85 million unique visitors at Redfin per month, right? And compare that to EXP and Compass, you have 1.6 million. Compass has about 6.4 million. And so there's this, exponential, unique visitors a month that Redfin has. And then they're a tech company, so they've integrated and automated all of their systems. And so who else could compete in a space like that? Like, who else has that type of traffic that if they decided to do something could actually hurt, or the industry, depending on how you look at it. I mean, everyone always likes to beat up Zillow, but let's just use it because they have about 302 million unique visitors a month. And if they were able to stand up agents overnight, or anoint agents in each market, or whatever you wanted to call it, and they were able to get the same productivity by traffic volume, they would be doing 149 sides or transactions per agent. And they're a tech company, so they know what they're doing as far as for integrating and streamlining tools and all that. That sounds interesting, but what does all that mean, right? Well, if you can get that amount of volume nationally and have that level of productivity per agent, I can geek out with the numbers. What it pencils down to is, out of the 1.4 million agents there are today, you would only need 43,000 agents to do the same 6.4 million transactions a year. And that includes new construction as well. But that's just the numbers, right? So, I mean, it takes 97% of the agent population, blows it away, just absolutely annihilates. Now, it's not going to happen exactly like that. But I would say that's an existential threat, that if we trust that Zillow is going to be like Zillow and do things that they say they never were going to do, then it would obviously make a lot of sense to look at Rich Barton and his past at Expedia and go, are there any parallels? Oh, yeah, he did that and he got rid of travel agents. Yeah, we've all heard that story. But like, when you really look at the kind of correlations between the two, it's like it was 1998 right now, where everyone is fighting over bookings. And bookings are, in the real estate world, listings. The big difference between the two is that in the real estate world, you can own your own mini airline. How do you do that? Through listings. Because when you have a listing, you own that digital real estate around that listing across the web that they have to give you, right? And you don't have to own an airline like you did back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So if you can own the listing side and just understand that the buying side is going to become a commodity, I believe, to some degree, then you have to learn how to get in front of Zillow, get in front of Redfin, get in front of whoever's next. Maybe Compass does some really great things. I mean, there's just that side of the business is going to get better.
We don't use the C word on this show, okay?
EXP gets better. Excuse me. Just the next gen of brokerages, whatever that business model is, they're gonna become more productive per agent. That's just what they're gonna do.
So
right?
let's talk about something really quickly. When it comes to getting visibility and visitors to your website, I mean, how would you start that? Nick and Gene, you guys are both marketing experts, of course. Not everybody knows that, but I mean, Brad, in your opinion, then guys, I want you guys to chime in because you guys have been creepily quiet. Visitors equals eyeballs, eyeballs equals relationships, relationships equal deals. So how do you start with getting more visibility and visitors to your website?
I would ask Nick and Gene that one. I mean, I can give you my thoughts, but that's what they do every single day, and I bet you they have better ideas than me.
Okay, gentlemen, who wants to go first?
I don't think that's the end. So let's that's a real big rabbit hole to go down, right? And I think steering this into marketing 2021, the website is important to have, but also you can stand up a website and throw as much traffic to it as you possibly can and get millions of visitors. If there's not a clear, compelling offer or a clear message as to what you do, then it doesn't matter how much traffic you run to the website. So for me, like one of the foundational things that I clear with people or I help people, coach people with is crafting your message to your market and then making sure everybody in your market knows exactly what you do and how you're different. So when it comes to like the Redfins of the world, they can throw away hundreds of millions of dollars a year on advertising to trip over those customers to get that productivity level up. For you, you can't afford that. Most agents don't have a $5,000 a month marketing budget. So getting really, really crystal clear on your message and not necessarily having to go out to the masses, but clarifying your message to your database and the customers that already know, like, and trust you. And then making sure that anybody that does land on your website, your landing page, your offer, whatever, your YouTube channel, the videos that you promote on social media, when you clarify that brand message across all platforms, it brings the right people into your world, and you don't necessarily have to have millions of customers.
Good. Great answer. Gene, thoughts?
He nailed it. There's not much more to say. I think people want shit for free, and he talks about what your offer. What are you giving me in exchange for my information? This has been the old adage, right? Like, a lot of the platform that's Likely operates off of contact information. How do we get the contact information? Brad has his ways to grab his, but when we're out in the wild, wild west, which is the internet, we got to figure out a way to exchange your information for what I'm going to give you for it. And I always, when we talk in seminars and stuff, I go, Greg, if I said to you, I want your birth certificate, your social security number, 2 of your bank accounts, your age, your parents' last names, and your 3 passwords to your bank account sites, and I'm going to send you over a checklist of things you should eat for breakfast. What are you going to say to me?
Go fuck yourself.
Right. But if I said to you, give me your email address, your phone number, and the names of your children, and I'm going to enter you into a contest to win $150,000 and 3 free houses, what are you going to say to me?
I'm going to say that you're the prince that wants $50 from me, and all I have to do is give you $50 and you get $150,000 from me. So go away. But in reality,
no. I mean, you're more likely to exchange that information if I have my.
And I'm joking, but 100%, I would exchange the information because, I mean, in all honesty, when you said like enter the 3 free houses and everything else just for this little information, I legitimately inside of me, I'm like, huh, okay, fair deal. Fair deal.
So what we do is a happy balance, right? There's a medium. Obviously, both of those are ridiculous scenarios, right? Nobody's gonna give away nothing for all that information, and nobody's gonna give away 4 houses and 150 grand for an email address, right? But there's the tap dance that we do is, how do I get enough people to give me their information for my offer, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the game we play. And it's funny, like, I know Nick goes through this because Nick and I talk offline all the time, and it's like, I had a conversation with one of my clients the other day, and she was like, well, I know a bunch of agents that are getting 85-cent leads. And I was like, oh my God, like my head. She's like, what's the matter? I go, let me just take a step back and explain to you why I charge $250 an hour to do Facebook ads. And she was like, wait, what? And I go, dude, there's no such thing as an 85-cent lead. What they're doing is they're making the barrier of entry so easy that people are putting their information in. They're getting 83-cent chasing downs, right? Like, it's like now all you're doing is creating work for your admin. So your admin goes, we got 800 leads for 83 cents. Okay, tell me how many of those answer the phone, let alone convert. 0. That's not how it works. I got to create more of a barrier of entry so that people don't go, what do you mean? I didn't leave my email address on your site, right? So that's the challenge all the time. There's that science project of, where's my offer lay? How much can I give them in exchange for the information that I need? But also make sure that they really want that information and they didn't just click a button by accident when Facebook put all their information into a form, right? Gene. So there's that back and forth, I think, that we talk about all the time. I know I went down a rabbit hole.
But can I jump on that rabbit hole? Jump down that rabbit hole with you?
Yeah. But before we do that, I have to rip Gene a new one really quickly because he really fucked up. Did you not know what you did not tell me before this show started?
Today's not my birthday. I haven't eaten lunch yet. I don't know.
Countdown.
That's
Boo this man. Boo.
Well, that was hilarious. 1 minute and 50 seconds to drop the F-bomb, 14 minutes and 22 seconds to do the intro.
You
We're
know
going to
what?
start a new game, by the way.
You know what I have to say?
Nobody
I have
needed
to
a
say-
30-second potty break 15 minutes.
Yeah, there's 30 seconds like too long for an intro. I mean, jeez.
Nick is the new official co-host by Gene, and we'll bring him back later after the show. And he's back up. Okay, there he is. But Nick, you nailed it out of the gate on that one. But Brad, you wanted to talk about a little bit about kind of your thoughts on what Gene was saying before he did not do his duties of reminding me to do the countdown.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that you guys, both Nick and Gene, hit on was the types of data that are being collected and how it's used. And everyone's starting to know, oh, data's the new oil, and everyone's got to get it. But then what do you do with it, and what types do you have? What I heard Gene really talk about was the explicit type of data. And there's also an implicit type of data, right? And so simple analogy of what these are, I use the dating analogy. When I first met my wife, she told me her name. I was trying to get her phone number. If she told me that, I would have had 2 pieces of explicit data. And that's not really all her, though. The other parts of it are the implicit data, and that's what she's wearing, who she sits next to at the table, how she interacts with the group, things that are perceived but aren't directly told, right? And so when you apply that to online marketing, right, the explicit data is someone that hearts a song or thumbs up a Netflix video. Implicit would be that they go to that video, then come away from it, and then go watch something else, and then they come back and watch that original video again, right? And all of these algorithms in the background are learning those behavioral characteristics. That's what machine learning does really, really well, right? There's a lot of things that artificial intelligence sucks at. Pattern recognition is what it excels at, whether it is making predictions or whether it is doing image categorization. And on and on. The kind of a classic story, because I don't want to geek out here, is this story about Target. And you guys probably have all heard it by now, but it's something just to iterate for a second. And basically what happened is this girl was underage, and her father got real pissed off because Target kept sending basically those ad booklets to their house that had full of if I'm pregnant, I need all these things. And so he goes into the Target and just rips the manager a new asshole rips him one. And
no, asshole's totally fine.
The manager was just back in his here, sorry. Come back a couple of weeks later, and the father's like, hey, I've had a real honest conversation with my daughter, and she is pregnant. And the what happened there is Target was watching purchase behavior and said, okay, this person is pregnant. And you think, well, how do they know the difference between someone who's pregnant or buying stuff for someone who's pregnant or whatever it would be? Because a lot of women buy all kinds of stuff. Well, when you dig into the data, it was kind of interesting. It wasn't baby registries or anything like that, but they saw a high quantity of unscented lotions being purchased at the beginning of the second trimester. They also saw high quantities of calcium, zinc, and magnesium purchased in the 20th week of pregnancy. That associated with 25 other purchase behaviors said this person is not buying something for a baby shower. They are pregnant. Now, what does Target have to do, and what does this industry as a whole have to do in order not to be super creepy? They have to mix it in with a bunch of other shit now, right? So they still sending you the ones you want, but they're going to mix it in so that way they don't have 1,000 other dads getting pissed off. So applying that to what we do in real estate, we don't have that clean of data like Target does when someone types in their little rapid rewards number, wherever you are, that's what they're doing. They're doing exactly that. That's why they give you coupons and free shit, because they can then triangulate what you're going to buy next.
Yo, that the only thing that story was missing. I think I want you to go back and redo it. Is that the father didn't kill the Target employee? Like that is the only thing that's. I got the chills down my spine because I literally just did one of these 2 weeks ago. I did a Zoom call with 100 agents on it, and I was live in front of 25. And I was going into the social network and the social dilemma and the great hack and Citizen 4, and I was trying to explain to them how everybody has your information, like at a high level. You use your PNC card at a Wawa 3 times a week at 8 o'clock. They know you're going into the office. Your GPS is connected to your phone. The phone pings the towers. Like there's so many things they can do. That story is wild, dude.
Yeah. And this was before, really cell phones and that online intent data was a thing, right? I mean, this is years ago. So that's why it's kind of a classic, but it's so personal. I think, Gene, a lot of people have that same reaction you just had, which is where how would I feel if that was me, right? And my daughter, started getting that kind of stuff. And so when you start to think that these large brands know more about your customers or your life than you do, it's true. I mean, you look at Facebook. I mean, you like 4 things and they know more about you than your friends do. I mean, it's everywhere. It's pervasive throughout the industry. Which is why Facebook got in so much trouble with the whole, 2016 thing. But that's a whole nother story. The whole point of all of this is that it's not magic. There are a lot of things that AI is good at. There's a lot of things it's not good at that a lot of people give it credit for. It's not general intelligence. But the things that we've been working really hard on to help agents with are the things that we know it can do. Pattern recognition in very unique ways. Basically doing what Target did to its little pool of highly cleansed data. We're doing that in 3,142 counties with data from that many different municipalities. So it's dirty, duplicated, 800 MLSs, like all of that. It's just a whole lot of wash that we have to go through. And so I think that for us as an industry to beat whoever comes next, whatever comes next, it's going to have to be on the listing side because the inventory is going to be tight for at least, they say, anywhere from 10 to 4 or 5 years. I mean, you have a gap of 5.5 million properties that need to be built. If builders somehow go from building, I think that 1.57 million starts this year, let's just say they somehow figure out to do 2 million starts per year, they're still talking about 4 to 5 years of a seller's market. So what does that do for you as an agent, right? The benefit to you is that portals lose some of their power because portals are really good at the buy side, but they're not as good at the sell side because search behavior is so much different, right? People don't search for their zip code. They don't do these things. And that's why I started Likley, because I came from Trulia and Market Leader and all those places. And I saw what they did well and what they didn't do well, right? And so as an agent today, how do you win? Again, I would ask Gene and Nick for ideas of how to win. And, if that's the frame and the game that we're going to be playing, how do you win?
So thanks. I'm really thankful you didn't ask me. I mean, I feel very good about this. My confidence level just went through the floor. So
he has identified the winners on the show. This is what's happening. Wait, I want to do something.
Greg, would you please go? I'm sorry. I'm just talking, man.
Wait. I want to talk about with Brad. This is why the internet wins all the time, right? So as he's talking, I type in. This is what I type in: Target pregnancy dad goes into store daughter pregnant, right? Like just a bunch of keywords that would maybe tag those things. The first article that comes up is how Target figured out a teen girl was pregnant before her, whatever. The second article is Target didn't figure out a teenager was pregnant before her. So it's like, pick your poison, dude. It's like, Gene, do you do social media? Yes, except no. Whatever you want. But I think that's a crazy story. I'm going to do some research into that.
I mean, Brad, all I could think about is like if unscented lotion was the precursor to
why are you doing
Pampers coupons, and Greg, you should be loaded up with Pampers coupons at your house, buddy.
Oh, dude, I have stacks of them. It is unbelievable.
And for anybody listening, I was doing a hand gesture with my hand, as some males do.
Unscented lotion.
Okay, we're going to step away from that conversation. Nick, you've been pretty quiet. I want to see if you want to jump in here on some questions. So I have a couple I want to ask Brad, but I want you to go first because I know you got a lot of stuff going up in your brain that's very intelligent.
I think you got to talk about the elephant in the room, and especially again, it goes back to database and people that know, like, and trust you already. But there's a lot of us as agents are hiding behind what's really happening in this ecosystem. Like Brad said, customers are well aware because they're starting to see all these ads from these companies and understanding that, hey, I could sell my house directly to Zillow. I could go to Knock and buy a house before I need to sell mine. So the education, there's a lot more involved now on the marketing side of what you need to talk about as a quote unquote listing agent, listing professional. You can't wait until you're in front of a customer at a listing presentation to open up your beautiful package and say, this is how we're different from all these different companies. You have to be able to portray that in a way where customers will feel that you're an expert already. They can make that decision that, yeah, I should talk to Nick instead of clicking this button on Knox website or Zillow or whatever, because I need the full picture. You as the advocate to somebody, as the listing agent, you need to be the person that educates them the most on all these different ways, because up until a couple years ago, there really only was either for sale by owner or list with an agent. There's a multitude of ways to sell your house now. And so you have to be forthright and let people know that you know everything that's going on, and you can help them. If they want to do this, here's your scenario for that. If they're thinking about doing this company, here's why you're a little bit better than that. So you have to be able to educate people on that on a marketing side.
Yeah,
that's enough content for your whole year. Just with those things, pick the top 5 companies, pick the Redfin, the Zillow, the Knock, the OfferPad, like do content around that of how you're similar and or different and better than those companies. There's your content calendar for the whole year, and you'll get listings from that.
I love it. So here's the thing, Brad, with kind of what you guys are doing with Likley.ai is, how are you guys getting ahead of these other companies? I mean, how do we beat the beast? And if you're a new agent, restarting agent, an agent who's like in their mid career and they need a refresh, how do you jump forward? I mean, what would be your strategy?
I don't know if it's jumping forward, but I think there's a lot of things, and both everyone on the show has talked about some really good ones. I think one of the most important things when looking outside the industry at similar industries like the insurance industry, they have an asset when they decide to retire that they can sell. In the real estate industry, there really isn't an asset. It's like, harvest as much as you can until you decide you don't want to play. And what that asset is their database. Right? Insurance agents can sell that database. And so I would say the number one thing is to actually cultivate an asset for yourself and for your business, for your team, and make sure it's yours. If you're putting it into certain places, read the terms, like it's really not yours anymore. And they're going to keep talking to those people even if you leave. So pick a place and have a single master database. You can, rather than having fragmented databases all over the place, have one that's kind of your primary. And then have subsets at the different marketing channels that you're doing, but try to get it all back to one or some type of hub that then feeds the spoke, hub and spoke. The second part is to keep it updated. Whatever you choose to have that, update it. I mean, there's so many people, I've got this many things and I've, so much of my business comes from my database, but they don't realize that they're missing 70% of the business from their database because they're marketing to people that don't live there anymore because they have the wrong phone numbers or the wrong emails, or they don't know that they're not in the market, so they're wasting money. So segment, the third thing would be segment who and how you contact them. And I think Gene and Nick have done great ideas around that. Nick, I love that idea about, how you kind of align yourself or delineate yourself from, bigger brands that people might know. That's a great idea. Because
I want to scare the shit out of some people really quickly. So you said something very important, and you skated over it very, 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 very fast. In regards to like when you put your data into a database, it's no longer yours. Like you have lost it. Is that an accurate statement? And I mean, how can they mitigate that?
I would just caution that whoever's listening, look at where your broker or wherever you are keeping it and making sure that it is yours. They have to tell you the terms and conditions. I know no one wants to read them. No one really ever does read them. But just make sure that if you do decide to leave wherever you are, start your own thing or whatnot, that you do take yours with you and they're not keeping it and going to continue to market, with a different agent's name, same brand, right? Because that's yours. You've worked for that.
That
So
is fucking terrifying.
It's one of those things that the deeper you get into the data side of it, it's harder. It's hard to keep it all yours. I mean, you look at these people that some of our vendors we license data from. They have these ginormous contracts because there's a gazillion ways that once you actually send it somewhere, it's hard to actually track where it goes after that. So
I see Gene twitching, and I saw the grimace on his face, and Nick is doing the same thing. So I know they're going to jump in on this thing. I mean,
here's one thing that I think about all the time, that like everything's okay till it's not okay. So like what Brad said, make sure you know that your data is yours, but at the same time, when you're at your brokerage that you're at currently, typically it's sunshine and rainbows. Like you're going to be with Coldwell Banker forever. You're going to be with EXP forever. Nothing's ever going to go wrong. You need to have that in the back of your mind that, hey, what if there's another opportunity that I need to go to this other company or break off and do your own brokerage or whatever? Like, have that plan in place and know, like Brad said, that's your asset. So just know that asset, if that asset is in your KV core and you're with EXP, what does that mean if you want to jump to a Coldwell Banker or whatever? Like, do you have that backed up into maybe just a CRM platform, like a Follow Up Boss or something that's nobody else has a login to but you? Or are you keeping it on an Excel spreadsheet, right? Everything's okay till it's not okay. And then that number one asset, your database, those are the people that you need to be in communication with. And Brad has a absolutely amazing product that everybody should be buying. And I don't know why everybody isn't buying in the country right now. It's the best kept secret in the world of letting you know who exactly in your database is getting ready to sell within the next 90 days. It's absolute gold.
So one of the things that, both Brad and myself, our father, Terry McDaniel, who's been in the business for 52 years. T. Diddy.
Shout out to the OG.
Yo. What up, homie? With little gang signs later. But the one thing he always told us when I was growing up in the business is exactly what Brad was talking about, is the fact that you build your business in a box. And the reason why you build it in a box is because if you have to pick up and move, you own your own phone numbers. And back when faxes were a thing, you own your own fax number, your own emails, you own everything. So nobody controls you. You own all of your own database. We use Top Producer. We've used them for probably 30 plus years whenever they first started. And so whenever we shift companies, nothing affects us because we own all of our own phone numbers, emails, databases, everything. And when it comes to what Brad's talking about, I 100% back it. Yeah. And Gene, Gene, it is the grand master is how you refer to him. Okay.
T. Diddy, the 50% responsible for two of the beautiful beasts on this show.
God, I love you.
Got to give shouts out to Ma too, but
I don't want to think about that. Okay.
No. She's responsible for it too. No. Remember the old insurance adage? Expect the best, prepare for the worst. Mm-hmm. I've been in business long enough, and I've been around human beings long enough that no matter how much you're in love today, things change, people change, businesses change, businesses sell, businesses go under. So Keller Williams is the greatest thing today, in your world. Coldwell Banker, it's amazing. EXP, look at the stock. Like, all these things all happen in the moment today, and things are rosy. But if the rug gets pulled out from under you tomorrow and you're not prepared for it, you're screwed. So I always, when we do our business planning here with namely one of my sidekick here at the mortgage company, we're doing business development for them. And we're never going to leave there. It's the greatest team on the planet. It's the greatest company on the planet. But just in case something were to happen, we're doing a bunch of these things in isolation and in a bubble, because all I'm doing is protecting myself and my family. So expect the best, but prepare for the worst.
Yeah, good point. Brad, Diana has a question for you. Does it go for lenders as well?
100%.
Yeah. So lenders, we actually started just kind of little background on our business. We started working with just, Wells Fargo, USAA, major originators. And it's because the same things aren't working for them either. What have they been doing is, as soon as a property hits the market, there's been a dog pile. Some, they're scraping it. They're doing things that you shouldn't be doing, but they're doing it anyways. But everyone started playing that game. And so it became less effective, right? And that's kind of how it goes. And so they came out to us and go, wait, what are you guys doing? Okay, well, we would love to work with you, because if we have a little bit more runway to build a relationship before they put the house in the market, we can get that pre-approval and maybe to give them a credit health check or whatever other services that they have readily available that they want to give away for free in order to get a purchase money transaction. That is what their bread and butter is. And so that's how lenders want to use us. Now, another way that we've had lenders engage us is they go, hey, we have 100 loan officers, and each one of our loan officers, we ask them to build relationships with maybe 50 agents, but there's 10 of those agents that are really, really good. What we would love to be able to do is, give each one of our loan officers the ability to go out to those 10 agents and say, hey, let's co-brand. And rather than bring donuts to your listings, I want to refresh your database, Mr. Realtor, if I'm the lender, and then co-brand. It's your data. I'm just going to run it through this third party, Likley.ai, and I will pay for it, or we'll split the cost. They decide, but then they co-brand, do the marketing. So it's a way for a lender to bring value to their top agent, their referral business, not violate RESPA, and stop bringing donuts, which no one wants to eat anymore.
Hey, well, wait a minute. Hold on.
Hey,
well, because Gene wants to eat them all. Nick can say he doesn't want to eat them, so it's all Gene.
Don't stop bringing the donuts, Brad. That's terrible advice. Bring the donuts, but also let's do the data too.
All right, there you go.
you gotta bring donuts and beef jerky for anybody on keto.
There you go.
Yes.
So yes, lenders do those are how people, or lenders, whether you're an individual loan officer or maybe you're a manager of a branch or run a regional or national origination firm. That's how they've been leveraging our tech today. And what they've really been using is the database refresh, which is what Nick was referring to earlier. You literally drag and drop. We need address, city, state, and zip. That's all. You can include anything else you want. So like a unique ID or phone numbers and emails if you want. So that way we can, refresh them or append new ones, try to fill it out for you. But you drag and drop it into our system. It's that simple. Create a free account, check out. You can ask for a free report first, where it then runs it. We do all the work and give you a nice report card saying this is how valuable this database is. This is how many of the addresses are valid. We matched them. These are the number of these properties that have sold in the last 9 months. And here, this is what the gross commission income was, if at 3%. And then this is the number of what we call gross commission income potential, or GCIP, based on likely sellers in your database. And it's usually a nice big number, depending on the database. If that looks good, purchase it, because there's a ton of money sitting there waiting for you. Rather than going to all 10,000 people, go to 2,000 of them and spend a couple of dollars more and engage them, build a relationship, send them hand-addressed invitation cards for 99 cents. So there's all these great things that marketers are doing today with solid data, because they're not just spraying and praying anymore. So yeah, I don't want to give you a product pitch. Not why I came on here, but
no,
yeah,
you're not doing a product pitch. You're doing an educational pitch, and I think a lot of people just don't understand. And I'm not discounting anybody who's listening or watching this right now, but a lot of the stuff that Nick, Gene, and Brad and I are very engrossed in is not something that a lot of folks are knowledgeable about. And that's not a knock on you. It's just like, hey guys, this is something that's new. This is something that's powerful. This is something that can really bring value to you. Like, learn a little bit, take knowledge, and rock and roll. The question I want to ask you, Brad, is, and Gene and Nick, I want you guys all to jump in on this one. When it comes to marketing, when it comes to AI, when it comes to everything that you're doing, data harvesting, where do you see this going? I mean, are the days of door knocking gone? Are the days of cold calling gone? Can you build that in? Kind of, what's your thought patterns, and what have you guys seen in your different businesses? Gina, we'll start with you.
No, that's not going to go away. I think the model's going to change. We've been talking about this for a while. I think over time, the role of the real estate agent will diminish. You'll be less important, because people will be doing most of their activities automatically through a bot, through AI, through a messenger thing. Like, there's going to be a lot of that. Signing is already online. Like, there's so much stuff that's digital now. You don't really need a real estate agent for it. But
hey, Hey,
Look, I can say it because I'm not in your space. I hope you're preparing for it because that's what's happening. So
I'm sorry, Gene. I'm sorry we can't hear you anymore. Oh my God, it's so bad. The stream just went out. Oh wait, it's back. Okay,
truth
Gene is
hurts,
back.
Greg McDaniel. You got to get ahead of the curve because there is gonna be. And
I
Javier, don't worry about it. You're going to be okay. That's what's going to happen over time, right? But here's what's reality. It's still the biggest transaction of your life. There's still a 30-page document involved. There's still an appraisal. There are going to be people that want human interaction. It might be at a different level. It might be at a different comp structure, but there's going to be a need for it. But I think a lot of these things are going to get more intelligent. Brad's data is going to get better, right? All these things are going to happen over time. I think just the real estate agent base will get smaller and stronger, right? So that's it. That's where I'm at. Sticking to it.
Nick, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Nick, what are your thoughts, brother?
I mean, I think technology is in our lives to make life easier and simpler, right? You're not going to completely remove humans, at least in our generation, but Brad said he doesn't want to do a product pitch. There's no product pitch. It's a problem. The problem in the industry right now is your biggest problem is not listings. Your biggest problem is time. And here's what I mean by that. If you have 2,000 person database and you're really kicking that database, if you're really shaking trees, if you're really talking to all those people on a continuous basis, that's a full-time job in itself. So if there was a product that you could purchase and you could pick this off of a tree and say, hey, out of these 2,000 people, I want to know the top 10 people I need to contact next week to door knock and stop by their house, to send them a personalized message, to pick up the phone and call them, to message them on Messenger with a personalized video because you saw something that they did on Facebook that was incredible, like run a 10-mile marathon or whatever you do to get into communication back with that person. That gives you back your time. And in my book, time is the most valuable asset that we have. So how do you eliminate the headache of going through all these people and building the relationships with ones that count the most as far as getting a paycheck in your pocket? Buy the database refresh. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Or you can just spend all your time talking to everybody that you know all the time constantly and not have any time for your family or friends or anybody else.
Damn. Okay. Shit.
And guys,
I'm feeling angry today.
Nick doesn't make any money from any of the products we sell.
I know.
But I thank you very much, Nick. I coming from someone like you, with your reputation and knowledge in the space, I really appreciate that endorsement of what we built. And we built it out of we felt a need. I remember growing up, Greg and probably remembers this too. I was probably, 9, 10 years old. And on Friday nights, we would have blockbuster movie nights. Yay, right? And
pizza.
Old school VHS tape. And what would we do? I mean, my dad would sit us down with bins, and we'd do a trifold and stuff. So you fold a letter 3 times and then stuff it into an envelope. And we'd have these bins. So while watching our Friday night movie, which as kids we thought was the coolest thing since sliced bread, we were also basically assembling mailers by the thousands. And go forward and understand how bad of a marketing, that takes so much time, to Nick's point, that as I grew up and I said, all right, I'm going to solve some of these things, that memory stuck clearly in my mind that agents aren't lazy. They're just really busy. They have basically, they are entrepreneurs, one-man shows sometimes, and they're running a full business. So they're doing marketing, accounting, sales, closing, legal, and everything else, right? And so how do you start to take some of these things off of their to-do list is to optimize where they spend their marketing dollar, where they spend their time. And when we started with the likely seller audience for counties, there was like, okay, anyone that wants to grow your database and kind of turn those unknowns into prospects and go forward that way, that's what that was built for. And then through that kind of evolution, we got a lot of requests for, hey, I get so much business from my database, or I have so many contacts because I've been buying Zillow leads for 10 years, and I know that there's a lot of value somewhere in this pay dirt. I just don't know where it is, and I don't have the time or more likely the budget to market effectively to all of them. So what can I do? Do you have something that allows me to sort through this and sift out kind of the most likely little nuggets and spend time on those and spend the right budget to create a relationship? I mean, we had a call with a client, a spotlight, and he's an OP of a market center in New Jersey, and he's been a kind of an early adopter. He likes to try things, and he throws most things away because they're garbage. And he's like, Brad, like, I got a $22 million listing appointment on my first mailing. I took your advice and started using this vendor to send out these invitation cards. I have started getting inbound from people going, well, Steve, you sent us 5 handwritten letters. Like, you built a relationship. Of course we're going to use you. We don't know who we used last time we bought our house. And he iterated over and over. It was the targeted relationship building that he saw have that leap for him. Now, I think that there's a lot to be said about brand recognition and doing things digitally in order to have even a higher impact on that acquisition component, which would be like an invitation card. But it became a personal thing why we were building this, and why, even though it's such a challenge with all this data and all these so dirty and going through data scientists and for years now, because I remember that pain of sitting on the floor and doing the trifold and stuff on Friday night. And I know that agents today can't do that and everything else that's required of them, even in the more connected world.
Listen, Brad's on a mission to stop child labor. That's all. That's all he. So if you're somebody who wants to get behind a movement of stopping child labor, purchase from Brad. Or if you are the owner of a team and your kids are folding trifold brochures by the thousands, you need to call Brad.
Or you can just donate to GregMcDaniel.com, and I'll make sure he never
That's what I
gets the
heard.
money.
That's all I heard.
It's okay. It's okay. All right, gentlemen, let's wrap this up. Brad, first off, I want everybody to know where they can get a hold of you, and kind of give them an idea. One, you have the database refresh, which is 100% free, right? And they can go to Likley.ai/refresh, and they can get a free information on kind of what their ROI is going to be in regards to their database and who to be talking to in the next 90 days. And then they can re-up it. Then they can buy the data. But if they want to do bigger things, if they want to be the top agent, if they want to explore more opportunities with you, where would they go? How would they communicate with you?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to Likley.ai, we have a couple of different forms on there. Kind of, you can look at the different products. Fill out any one of those, and one of our associates will reach out to you right away. If you don't like filling out forms, you can email us at moredeals@Likley.ai. And if you're ready to get going, I mean, you can definitely go to Likley.ai/refresh, or you can just go to app.Likley.ai. And literally that's where you drag and drop the file. It's all connected online, but the URL is a little different. I mean, something, Greg, we can do with your audience, if they would like, is we're going to be launching a contest, and we can kind of do a mini contest now, if you'd like, where, what you do, guys, is go to app.Likley.ai, drag and drop your database in. Remember, it's address, city, state, and zip, right?
And remember, you guys remember, he's not harvesting your information. He already has it all, so this is not a harvesting thing. Yep.
Go there, drag and drop that file in, CSV, Excel. I mean, we fuzzy match. We do pretty good at it. Create a free account, and then it's going to say, do you want to buy it or to get a free report? Click get a free report. We'll say thank you. We go and do all the work as if you'd bought the file, and then we're going to give you back this nice report card that tells you the things I talked about earlier. On the upper right of that card, there's a little thing that says share. Click share the results on Facebook, and it automatically tags Likley Data. And one of our teammates here at Likley will track that. Let's give it a week. So everyone that kind of comes in contact with this at the end of the week, whoever has posted the most likely sellers in their database will give you the refresh for free.
Okay? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's
in.
Couple $1,000 if it's a big one, couple $100 if it's kind of smaller one. But I mean, we want you guys to use the stuff only if the report looks good. I mean, if it's bad, then hey, we don't want you to pay us anything ever.
So hold on a second, Brad. I got to do something while you're on air. Hey, Eileen, I need you to upload our database over to Likley.ai and have him do a database refresh for us because we're in a contest and we're going to win 200 lollipops. So if you could do that, that would be amazing. Thanks. Bye.
And
okay,
and we're in. Because there's going to be people like Greg that might submit 10,000 or 100,000 addresses and be like, I'm going to win, ha ha ha. We'll have tiers. So I think it's up to 500, then between 500 and like 2,500 and 2,500 and over, as far as property addresses. So give it a shot, come in and we're happy to give away some refreshers and get you guys into the product.
Love it. Love it. Gene, if anybody wants to know where they can get your hair product, how can they get a hold of you?
Here, listen. I'm not talking to you right now. You and I are through. We're done.
Well, that's because you have this consistent look on your face. And I don't know how to deal with this, but I just love it to pieces because it's like, oh my God, it's me. It's Gene. Oh, it's not coming up. You motherfucker.
No, you got it. It's coming up.
There it is.
Yeah.
Like what? No, but GVI Media, tell us where they can get a hold of you. What do you do? And again, your best hair quality.
I'm collecting friends and family on Instagram and Facebook right now. So get in while the getting's still good. I only got a couple spots left on Facebook because I'm so damn popular.
That's
a joke, of course. But no, I got a couple spots left on there. Hit me at Gene J Volpe, and the Gene Volpe on Instagram,
or the Genvelope is how we refer to you. Genvelope.
Yes.
The Genvelope.
The Genvelope.
Mr. Nick Sakis, I have your right image up here now.
How did the wrong image?
We need a new picture.
You downloaded my email signature instead of the image that I actually sent you as an attachment.
Well, motherfucker, this is what you get. Okay.
So if you would like to talk about all things marketing and with getting the right images and wrong scenarios.
Hey, go back to the image real quick.
Go to getamplifiedmarketing.com.
He never moves from that spot. His wife and kids haven't seen him in a month. He is always in that same
spot. I'm only here. Office is locked.
Yeah. God, that is too damn funny. Gentlemen, I love you to pieces. Too bad this man couldn't make an appearance today on the show, but we love him to pieces. If you guys know who I'm talking about, we're talking about our lead singer from our local band. Otherwise, his name is Matt. But you guys, if you guys want to reach out to me, we are doing some stuff with EXP. We are hiring for our EXP team. We do have a trucking company that we have launched in regards to kind of helping people move around the country at a zero cost basis when they work with our teams. And of course, my poor departed cat Bandito is here with us with all of his lizard friends on his back. So that is our show. Brad, Nick, Gene, gentlemen, I need 3 colors for the bow on the show. Nick, go first.
I'm going red like pizza sauce because that's what I ate way too much of the past couple days.
Fuck, I'm so jealous of you, dude. Brad, what's your color?
Blue.
Blue like what?
I want some Bloods and Crips going on here. We got to have some contests.
Okay, so blood like Crips. Okay, that's gonna be a fucking funny
one. No. Nick's blood like blue.
No,
like
he's
Crips.
red. He's red like
I'm
pizza.
red.
Yeah. Red and Crips don't go together. It's like,
oh my
God,
that's
the beef, isn't it? That's the beef.
Like watch
blood.
Any Compton show ever? Come on, man.
Oh my God. All right, Gene, what's your color for this one?
Beige.
Ooh. Beige. Ooh, everybody loves a good beige.
Is that beach beige or is that like sunshine beige or
whatever the most boring color of beige you can think of is?
And that's why you're my co-host. All right, guys. Hey, we love you to pieces. Thank you so much for being on the show with us today. We could not do this without you. Please go to everywhere you guys watch or listen to any kind of podcast. Give a 5-star, not a 2-star review, so the algorithm can serve this up to more folks. We truly love you. We truly appreciate you. We love your interaction, and I just can't tell you how much we're thankful for you. So on this show, on this bow, we're gonna do a Crips red. Crips blue.
How are we the same gene pool, man? Like, what's going on?
I'm a horrible gangster. I'm a horrible gangster.
I thought you said you were like hanging out in San Francisco with your razor blades and stuff.
It would be my knife. Anyways, we're gonna do a red like
that's
pizza.
Why you need that. You can't remember who's who.
Me neither. Tell me. All right, gentlemen, we're gonna be doing a red like pizza for pizza sauce. We're gonna do a blue like Crips, like the gangsters, and then we're gonna do a very blasé beige. So, guys, thank you so much. We love you to pieces. And until next time, gangsters. Peace out, ninjas. We gone.